Hey, yo, fellow collectors, how's it going? How y'all doing? What are we up to and what are we doing? Today we got episode 3 of Let's Talk Collectively, and today I got a special guest, the real Hinano from the Real Uncommon podcast. Oh, wait, you're over here. Hello, buddy. How are you doing?
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me on Evolve.
Of course,
Good to
thanks
be
for
here.
coming on. It's cool. We're just hanging out. I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about your collecting journey.
Cool. I'm ready to start. And hello to the audience. It's good to be here on Evolve's channel. It's morning for me, and I'm looking forward to talking it up with him.
Yeah, let's do it. We're just a couple collectors hanging out. We from Webby Collective. We're trying to just move through the community and spread the positivity. So let's just go straight to this. When did you start, and what was the first thing you collected?
Ooh, y- when did I start collecting? You talking about when I was a kid?
Yeah, when as far as back as you can remember.
Okay, so as far as I can remember, I remember my grandparents giving me a bunch of comics in a box, and I believe they were Batman comics. Um, that's not really what um, kind of like sparked my collecting journey. I
Mm.
didn't really start collecting comics until I think it was like either like the late 80s, 90s. And it's just from walking in the store. I walked in the store one day with my mom, and I used to read a lot of books back then. Like Back to the Future is one of my favorite movies. I had like the paperbacks of all those. I was a big bookworm
Okay,
back then, so if
that's
anything, it
good.
was the bookworm of me that kind of got me into the comics. But I can remember going into the comic store, and we had one comic store here in the little town that I live in, and it's still little till this day. I mean, I live in a town where horses still kind of gallop around the highways and
Wow,
stuff around here. You got like
that's
cowboys.
cool.
We call them paniolos over here.
Okay,
Um, but yeah, little shop. We'd have to wait outside in a line to get into the shop. You can probably have like maybe 5 or 6 people in there, and I wait in line to buy like
that's cool.
Image comics. Spawn. Spawn was like one of my favorite comics as a kid. I own the
Spawn's
runs
cool.
I think 1 through 22.
Okay,
Yeah, I collected a lot of
Spawn.
Spawn. Sorry,
Spawn's really cool.
Spawn's awesome, man. I collected Spawn, Wildcats, Youngblood, Brigade, all the image lines from back then.
Like old school kind of DC characters, right? Or is Spawn considered DC? I've always
Now I
wondered
believe
that.
I think DC and Image have kind of either collaborated or merged together. I'm not really too sure. But like even back then as a kid, I wasn't like an avid collector. I was more of a novice, right? I used to just collect just because I loved them. I read the books. We didn't know to like keep them in good shape back then, right? We used to beat the crap out of them. In fact, I've got some
Yeah.
books here from
Oh,
the good old LCS days. If anyone remembers these guys, this is from my childhood.
the real Ghostbusters.
Yeah. So
That's it looks like a cool one. Is that from like maybe the 80s?
this is definitely from the 80s. This came in a bag, and it actually had like 3D glasses. And so when you
Oh,
open it, it's actually like 3D film inside. I have no idea what happened to all that stuff, but
that's
yeah,
cool
this is
though.
from my childhood right here.
Okay.
Here's another one that you guys might recognize.
Ooh,
Jurassic
Jurassic
Park.
Park. I didn't know
Yep.
they made a comic. That's cool.
Oh yeah, dude. And I remember buying this comic. This is from a
Yeah,
supermarket I bought it from right off the spin rack. So
a long
you can
time
see
ago.
right here. It's
It looks good. You've
it's a
kept it good
newsstand, right?
condition. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, it's
yeah.
in great condition. Yeah. So I'm sure somebody probably wants
That's
it.
awesome. No, that's
And
awesome, dude.
Tops Comics.
Interesting. I didn't
You can
even know
see like
Topps made comics either.
yeah, there you go. So
That's cool.
and then this one, everyone knows this one. This guy's on the app.
Voltron, yes.
Yeah, this is number one, by the way.
That's awesome. That's really
Yeah.
cool.
So I don't remember how I got this one. I think I got this one's, and this one's not in good condition. It's kind of all beat up in here, but it's in a nice bag and board.
No,
And
yeah, it
then my
looks good.
last one, and if Slider is watching, yeah. If anyone
Sequest.
remembers Sequest, yeah. So
I
this
will
is like
say I
around the
don't know.
'90s, and it's kind of what we're talking
Okay.
about right now. When I started collecting comics, I also used to collect.
It's cool that it's really
Go
cool
ahead.
that you still have those.
Oh yeah, man. I got a lot of my old stuff. Oh wait, here I got one more. It fell. Ren and Stimpy.
Oh, Ren and Stimpy.
This
Yes.
came in a
Love
bag,
Ren and Stimpy.
and it had a scratch and sniff of the log. And it was I think it was in a
Interesting.
black bag. And I don't know what happened
Okay.
to any of that stuff either. I really wish I left it in the bag, but yeah.
Hey, it happens. You move it so many times over the years, you lose track of stuff like that.
Oh, bro, if not, or my mom threw it away, when I moved out of the house, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of explained to Chris Severs, I had this Airwolf model of a helicopter. You know what
Cool.
Airwolf is? It was like a popular TV show back in the day of a high tech helicopter. It was kind
I
of like the
think I
Knight Rider in the air, right?
Yeah, I think
So
I've seen that. I've seen that. It's almost like it kind of reminds me of like Transformer in a way, but it's like different. I
yeah.
know it's in the
Oh, it doesn't
same.
transform. It just has like guns that come out of the side, and it's kind of like it's just kind of like a futuristic helicopter. Um,
Gotcha.
But I had this collectible for years. I had it until I moved out of the house. And then when I came back into the house, I went to find all my boxes, and my mom said, "Oh, I threw it all away. I didn't think you needed it
Oh.
anymore. You're not a kid." I'm like, "Well, those weren't toys. Those were like collectibles. What are you doing?" So it's
Oh
gone.
man. Hey, it happens. I've had a few things thrown away by my mom too.
Yeah, yeah. It's usually your mom that does it. So, yeah. Anyways, that was my
Well, we
childhood.
disappear for a little while, and they're like, "Oh, well, they're not coming back anytime soon, so gotta just
Yeah.
make
Yeah, it's
some
like,
room."
I think it's in the attic. Go look for it, right? Bullshit.
Yeah.
Anyway,
You'll be hunting for hours and realizing, oh, you threw it away. Thanks, appreciate
don't even get me
it.
started on storage here. That's another battle, but
Well, good thing we have digital comics now. We can buy
exactly.
as many and
That's
not have any worry about that. That's awesome. I think it's
exactly.
really cool.
Exactly.
So, throughout your collecting journey, has there any been any like other category that's pulled you away from comics or these like little collectibles here and there?
Well, so I stopped collecting comics. I want to say when I started high school. I think
Okay.
Yeah, I think around high school. I mean, when you go to high school, you meet new friends, and
Yeah.
you're trying to get into the click thing, right? Yeah, comics
Yeah.
aren't cool, so yeah, comics became uncool after, and I,
Gotcha.
I stopped collecting comics forever. So I put a lot of this stuff in storage, and I didn't start getting reinvigorated back into comics till I got into Vivi. I mean, literally, I started collecting comics again back only last year, actually, to be very
Same.
honest. Yeah,
Yeah.
2022. And I want to say part of the reason why I started collecting comics again is because Aaron started giving them away on his channel. That
You're
was
getting a
part of the
bunch, huh?
catalyst. No, I think I won like maybe two or three. But it wasn't the
Okay.
winning part that got me back in. It was just the fact he was displaying them all. And we get to read these comics in the app, so it's that as well, right? And then I also wanted to
Right,
kind of
right.
pair mine with the ones that I have in the app. So I got a couple
Yeah,
pairings. I
it's
didn't
really cool to
bring
see.
any.
It's really cool to see the physical and digital together, like next to each other.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be a popular aspect of this app in the coming future. Collectors will want to have the physical and the digital together. I mean, I know I want it now. But what's crazy
Yeah.
is now that I'm collecting these comics, it's kind of like a drug, and it's kind of like what I remember as a kid. Because I remember as a kid, I used to, I had an allowance. I used to do chores. I used to mow lawns just to get some money so I could buy comics. I used to buy cards. I used to have those X-Men cards
Okay.
where they had like the power level of each character in the back. I bought
Like
like
a
Savage
trading there's
Dragon card.
like a trading game, right? Kind of
No, it was just
trading
like
card
trading
game.
cards.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it
Yeah,
was gamified. If it was gamified, I never played with it. I think it was just
that's
trading cards.
that's me with Pokemon.
Yeah, I don't think we had the Pokemon craze back then yet. Um,
Right.
but yeah, yeah. So where was I? Forget already. Sorry.
Comics. So we were talking about how if you've been pulled away from comics at all, like did you go into other like trading cards, more trading cards or pins, stamps? Did you like
No.
ever want to get heavily into anything else or just straight comics?
So, I mean, there is one thing that I have been collecting for quite some time, and and it's weird, guys. It's starships from Star Trek. I have statuettes of Star Trek starships. I have about
They're
maybe
cool.
70 or 75 in this
Wow.
house. In fact, I don't have a Star Trek starship with me, but I do have one of these here in my show and tell. And this guy is definitely on the app, and that's the
That one's
Galactica.
cool. Yeah, that
So
one's cool.
yeah, this was made by Eagle Moss, and it's a company that was in the UK. They just bellied up, but they had the licensing to create all these models, and they had
Yeah.
all the 3D renders of all these models from CBS.
Oh
So
wow.
like, or I'm sorry, not just CBS, but like Universal and all these other ships that they created and stuff like that. So this is an actual replica of Galactica.
It looks really good.
And what's crazy is when the company bellied up, this thing tripled in price on eBay. So
I
I
think I've
shouldn't be
seen
touching it.
seen seen. I think I've seen those a couple of times on eBay.
Yeah.
Occasionally, I'll run through eBay, see if
Oh,
there's
bro, they're like 100 plus
anything cool.
$200 now. I bought that thing for
Yeah.
$39. So
Wow. How long
yeah,
ago?
I think I've had it for about a year.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you
Um,
ever with your Starship collection? Have you ever like hung them up like on strings or anything like that on the ceiling?
Oh no, hell no. Yeah, no way. I ain't gonna put anything on like the ceiling. Nah.
Okay.
They once in a while. So I have a display case outside and a little shelf area. So what I used to do is I used to rotate out the ships, put like 4 or 5 on this shelf. But then my daughter kept whacking them, and one of the nacelles on one of the ships broke, and I said, okay, forget it. So now I
Dang.
don't display them anymore. Yeah, they just sit in
Gotcha.
the box and they don't do anything, which is not the good part of collecting if you think about it, right? Because then it starts taking up a lot of room and storage.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Definitely.
And
It's
75 ships, guys, it takes up a lot of room and storage. So I was joking around on one of the streams saying, like, my storage underneath the stairs is completely filled. And it is when you open the door. So you got to take shit
it
out to get to the back. So,
happens. What about so is are they pretty big? Are they range in sizes?
so yeah, there's different scales. I think the one I just showed you here is like one of the biggest. So
Okay.
there's an XL model. I never went for the XL model because they're like double the size of what you just saw.
Yeah,
So
they're pretty huge.
yeah,
Collectibles can get pretty big.
there's like some like this size that are small. So that's a
Yeah, that's
micro
very small.
machine of the Enterprise
My
D.
cool. Micro
Yeah,
machines are cool. I like them. I personally have always liked the miniature style of collectibles. They're cool.
yeah. And they're easy to store, right? So like I got these little tackle containers where I have all my old micro machines. I have all of them. Every single micro machine I've ever owned is all in like a storage container that's also underneath the stairs.
So you have like a Harry Potter closet.
I guess is that what it's called, a Harry Potter closet? I don't
Well,
know. I'm
because
not a Harry Potter fan, guys. Sorry.
dang, have you ever watched Harry Potter?
I have. Yeah, it's
Okay, so in
slow
the
for
first
me.
one, and yeah, it is a bit. So the first one, basically, as a kid, he's living in his aunt and uncle's house
Oh,
under the
okay, his
stairs.
bedroom. That's what you meant by the
Yeah,
Harry Potter closet.
yeah, yeah,
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
Nah, a little bit bigger than that.
No worries. Um, so how has your collection evolved over time, and what are your plans for your collection?
Well, the evolution of my collection started involving my family, and I think that was the best part of this
Mm,
whole thing. My wife, and everyone knows her, D1 and only. She never was into any of this stuff. In fact, when I was trying to get her into VV, she looked at me like I was a crazy person. That whole crazy person flipping
yeah,
pictures and buying pictures for like, you know, 500
yeah,
bucks.
yeah, yeah.
Um, but then when she understood and she got into this community and she started like, networking with everybody, then that passion got into her as well. And so I took her to her first comic store. I want to say at the beginning, I want to say beginning of February we went.
Okay.
And it just blew her mind when she walked in there. She's like, "Oh wow, this is in VV, that's in VV." My daughter loves reading, but she never ever looked at a comic book. She was like me, paperbacks. If
Right.
anything, the closest thing
Art
was an
book.
omnibus or something. Bro, she went in there.
Yeah.
She started just picking. Dad, I want this. Dad, I want that. It was just really nice to see. And so now what we do as a family is every weekend we'll stop at the comic store and we'll go pick out like 5 or 6 comics. One day out of the week we read a comic and then we talk about what we read. And it's been really healthy for us because it's a time where we can turn off our devices, take a break from social media, VV or whatever else, and just kind of like bond as a
Hang out.
family. So the
That's awesome.
evolution of my collecting has gone to that, and I love it.
Like family time. That's awesome.
Major, major. Yeah.
No, that's really cool. I think that's a good way to really incorporate your loved ones with what you're doing. So it kind of like you said, it brings a bonding. So it's nice.
What about you? Same question poised right back at you.
So I mean, over time, it's definitely gone all over the place. I collect all types of things: pins, games, comics, collectibles like Funko Pops and stuff like that. But just recently, like kind of all the same thing. Like we get a lot of books. So my daughter's actually all into reading a lot of books. So we read books every night. So at
That's
some point,
cool,
it would be
man.
really
It's a
cool
good
to
thing to do.
incorporate comics. Yeah. No, yeah, we have a night routine. We have to have a night routine because it's. I mean, I only get to see her throughout the week, maybe like 4 hours a day, because I work all day. So during the weekend, it's nice because we can hang out all morning. I get to sleep in with her.
Same.
She gets to play. It's cool. It's
Yeah. I mean,
nice.
my daughter's like almost 10 and same. Like I get 3 or 4 hours with her, or maybe just two a day. It's just because
Oh
we're all
yeah,
busy, right?
yeah.
So
I mean, we got to bring food on the table.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, yeah, but yeah, that's kind of where it's been. It's all over the place. It's hard for me to really decide on one category because I like so many things.
Yeah, and the collecting world's pretty vast, right? From baseball cards to comics to movies to games now.
CDs,
There's a thing
VHS.
called mug life out there. Have you ever heard of mug life?
I'm gonna
Mug
guess it has to do with mugs.
It has to do with mugs, and these crazy
That's
people
crazy.
buy mugs for like $500. So I
What?
watched that Gary V video where he was explaining his strategy where he would go on eBay and
Mm-hmm.
like, do educate himself on like different mugs. And then he'd go
Okay.
out into like garage sales like what you just did today, and he would go and find all these mugs for like 25 cents, 50 cents. Then he'd go back, bring the mugs back home, look at the mugs, educate himself on the mugs, and then he would
Yeah.
flip the mugs on eBay. 100
Yeah.
bucks, 250 bucks, 50 bucks. I mean,
Yeah. You
anything
can.
off of a 50 cent, expenditure right there.
Yeah. You can make quite a good money if you're on the hunt when you're going garage sales.
Yeah, but I mean, it goes back to like there's a collector for everyone. I mean, if it's not stamps, it's mugs. If it's not mugs, I mean, who knows? Maybe people collect toilet bowls. I don't know. You
Toilet
know,
seats. There could be
toilet
like
seats.
different. Yeah.
Yeah, people are some odd ducks.
Different plungers.
Okay, now we're getting a little bit too fringe here.
Well, it's funny because Gary Vee. Actually, I remember a little before VV, I was listening to Gary Vee here and there. He was talking about garage sales, NFTs, and I remember him saying how Fortnite skins is kind of like an NFT. When he mentioned that, it kind of like it all started to click. The whole blockchain, Web3, and NFTs and all that. It kind of just like, oh well, it's a digital ownership of whatever you're buying, you're
Yeah,
collecting. It's really
exactly.
cool,
Like, and it's supposed to be
and it
true
doesn't get
ownership,
destroyed.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's
yeah. And it
it's a
trips me
trip.
out in some people where a lot of people are hesitant on this, and what's funny about the people that are hesitant on this, that from what I read from comments, is I'm almost 100% sure they've bought music on iTunes and bought streaming
Yeah,
movies, and they've got all kinds of stuff, digital books, but probably don't even like realize that they're doing
yeah,
that kind of stuff, right? And saying you're
yeah.
crazy for buying digital products when they own a bunch.
It kind of reminds me of like when we first started to see like digital asset, like not asset but digital copies from like DVDs, comics, CDs, like that first kind of like move into the digital age. It's I don't know, it's crazy. I don't
Yeah,
know if you
and I
understood
mean,
what I
it's only
meant.
going to get more. It's the tech. The tech is just
Yeah,
going to make it a whole lot better. And if you know what an NFT is, then the tech is kind of endless, right?
yeah,
It's all about implementation of that tech and what you want to use it for and what use case you can use that for. It's really vast.
yeah. Technology is going so fast. All right, let's see. So you like comics, you like your ships. What has been your favorite thing to collect over the years?
Honestly, it goes back to the comics. And I'm glad you asked me that. Sorry, there's bugs in my house today. There's gnats in Hawaii.
It's okay.
It's the comics, mainly because when you read the comics, you kind of like put yourself in the hero's shoes, or at least that's what
Mm-hmm.
I do. Whenever I read anything, I kind of like put myself in like the shoes of the character, so I can kind of engulf myself in that. In fact, I love movie scores. Sometimes I'll like go and find a movie score on Spotify and then listen to that while I'm reading a comic, so I can have background music just to kind of enhance the experience.
Okay.
So yeah, it's mainly the comics. I
Kind of like
love
a
comics.
Marvel movie scene type deal. You listen to that in the background, is that?
Well,
Yeah.
it can be,
Okay.
like a good example is say Avengers Endgame, right? At the very end where the
Hmm.
portals all open and you hear that Avengers theme and you hear the Cap say, Avengers assemble and they start
Yeah.
running. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's that background music that kind of makes that scene more epic, or any
Okay.
kind of scene. You've ever watched the TV show Lost? um there's
Yeah.
always there was a beautiful background always in the back scene of Lost, and so that's what enhanced that TV show. That's what made that TV show so good. So I like to do
Yeah.
the
All
same
the
thing when I read. I like to enhance my my reading experience.
I'll have to consider that because I've struggled with enjoying reading, so to speak. Because for me, I don't know. I rarely ever read a comic, but recently I decided to read Spider-Man #7 to see that first appearance of Spider-Boy. I wanted to see what that was about. It's kind of cool.
You
He
need one
appears.
first, though. You need to start with one.
I know. I'm just jumping into the Spider Verse, but I do have Lost Hunt. I think like Lost, one of the new series of Lost Hunt. I started reading that one from part one to see what that's about. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Craven's pretty cool.
yeah. I've never read that series, unfortunately. So in fact, I don't even think I own it on the app. One day.
Well, there's this new one, I believe, and I think it's different from the older version. I'll have to look more into it. I gotta do my research.
Yeah, well, try it though with the music. I- if you notice, that's why we always put music in the background of our podcast to enhance the experience and kind of set the mood. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I'm a
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
big fan of music, so like
You like
setting
music?
the mood on something is key for us.
No, yeah. Honestly, I do enjoy it because it kind of like you said, it sets the mood. It makes it kind of relaxing and chill.
Yeah,
Um, I like this lo-fi. How you like this lo-fi?
it looks good, man. Yeah. Oh, here we go.
There you go.
Yeah, and
No, it's cool.
if audience, I'm very sorry. I just told Evolve, and I'm a pretty honest person. Hence the real Hinano. I'm hungover, guys. I went to a party last night. My nephew's visiting from Canada, and so you know, yeah, I've got the hair of the dog this morning, so I'm a little
It's a
off.
bit
So
early on your side. It's a bit early on your
I
side. I couldn't
apologize,
get up at
but
seven
I'm
thirty.
here. I may not be 100% here, but I am here.
I appreciate it, buddy. It's uh, we're it's a Friday night. You gotta enjoy your Friday night.
Yeah, and don't edit
I
any of this
appreciate
out.
you.
You know what I mean?
No,
Just
no,
yeah,
no. We're chilling. We're gonna be.
yeah, make it
I
raw.
liked. I really liked the last episode where I kind of just threw it on there. I didn't have to edit anything because it was
Yeah,
a conversation. So I'm just gonna share it. Nothing really to edit out because it's a continuous conversation. I think I enjoyed it. It's really cool to just have a conversation with other collectors about what they're collecting and seeing how their journey came to be.
yeah.
Because
What about
like for
you?
me, I didn't start collecting heavily until Vivi. I prior to this, I would buy things here and there, a lot of hats, a lot of hoodies,
Shoes?
pins, shoes, yeah, kind of like normal things, nothing crazy. Funkos here and there, but
Yeah.
then Vivi came around, and I went heavy into Vivi, and then I also just started to get more into comics as well. I love comics. The covers are sick. Like I don't know, for some reason the comics called to me because they're a little easier to attain and have and hold than a Funko Pop because their cardboard box always wants to break and bend and all that.
They take less room, but when you have way more comics, like right on the side of me right here, I have looks like 9 short boxes, and I got more long boxes in my Harry Potter closet downstairs. Um, so it does take up room once you start stacking. And I just telling Evolve before I came on, our comic store is having 50 cents comic sales right now on back stock. So
That's
I
cool.
bought a short box for like $100, and there's like 200
Oh
comics
yeah,
in
yeah, yeah.
there that I chose. So Yeah.
Oh, they
It
let
takes
you
up
choose
room and
it?
they're heavy. Oh yeah, yeah, you can choose
That's
whatever you
cool.
want in the back. And dude, this guy's got like so many long boxes in the back. So I always thought we only had one comic store here because the internet doesn't really do it justice on the location of all these collectible stores and comic stores. But I
Mhm.
found one on the east side of the island, and sure enough, I meet this guy, and he's a typical comic, store owner. At first, the impression was, oh, this guy's crabby. Oh, he's grouchy, and then but then I remember that,
Yeah,
and they're very passionate, and that's the reason why he was that way. And so the first
gotcha.
thing when I walked in there, he started asking me questions about artists. I said, bro, I am a novice collector. I've always been a novice collector. I'm not one of these. I'm no Chris Severs or Mazer. You know what I mean? I'm just like, I'm a guy that loves the comics like you. I love to read them. Obviously the evolution of comics for me is with my family, and the covers are sick. I
Yeah,
love the
yeah.
covers. Yeah. So,
Is
but the
it
guy
do
was
you ever
super cool. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
do you ever no, you're good. Do you ever find it hard to, go in and read it? Like,
What,
or
a
do you or
comic?
yeah, just because like, you don't wanna ruin it or anything like that?
No. So what I usually do is I buy two copies. Yeah.
Gotcha,
Yeah, so I
gotcha.
like most of my comics is double, and I read one, and even the ones I read, I use. In fact, where right here, I use gloves.
Oh,
Yeah, I put on gloves. I take it out. I hold it very carefully, and I slowly just read it, and I put it back in. If it's a beater, I don't care. I just read it. I'm not like I'm gonna
yeah.
get a beater all graded or anything, right?
Right, right.
So, speaking of graded, do you own any graded comics?
I actually just picked up my first one here recently. It's a 9.8 Disney 100 Spider-Man number 19, 17. It's the first one from the Disney 100 series.
Oh, is that the one with the, homage to the Avengers 4 cover? It's a
Yes,
white
yes.
cover? Oh,
Yeah,
that's a good one. Yeah, it's one of the
yeah.
first I think that dropped.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I wanted to have the first, it's always got to be the first.
Yeah,
So, yeah, no, I have that. I do plan on getting more at some point. Got to take it a little slow. Digital collecting is a little more expensive, so that takes
yeah,
away.
and we got
um,
time, it's a little bit
yeah,
different if you're treating it like a, crypto stock investment, then, well,
good
I think
luck.
you're doing it wrong.
Good luck. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
For me, I kind of just I went in blindly. I was just like, oh, cool. Like this, I had my first land on Iron Man, the Golden Moment. Golden Moments is what brought me in from TikTok. So TikTok had a Golden Moments little ad from an influencer. I don't know who it was. I really wish I knew who it was so I can shout you out. Um, but yeah, I got into Golden Moments and it was like an instant flip when I landed Iron Man. I was like, okay, cool. I can buy something and it's gonna flip. At that time, everything was flipping. Comics were
yeah,
flipping. I remember like each comic was going for over 20 bucks.
yeah.
So instant craze, instant like how do you call it? Like lottery feeling where it just
Euphoria,
yeah,
and, I
yeah,
jumped into that euphoria too, and shame on me because, like, in reality, we should have all thought, well, this is kind of crazy. Everything's mooning. That's never good, right? That's like a run in the stock market, as Chris ever said, or just a run period. Usually, you should sell
okay.
whenever things are like running or something like that. But like at the
Right.
time, everything was pumping, right? It wasn't just NFTs; it was crypto, the stock
Yeah,
market.
yeah.
Governments were throwing money into the market, so it was a very
Yeah.
euphoric time. So yeah, you're
Oh yeah,
right.
for
You could
sure.
just literally throw in like $500 and it automatically flip it to like 15 to 2K. No joke.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that is no
Landing
more, by the way.
nowhere near. None of this is financial advice. Do
Never.
your own research, all that.
Yeah,
All that good stuff.
we're just a bunch of dudes on the internet.
Yeah, we're just degenning over pictures. Just kidding.
That's right.
Oh man. No, but I love it. I honestly love collecting because it brings a joy, that nostalgic feeling, all that like I don't know, I have an addictive personality, so that like lottery feeling, that euphoria, like you're saying, like it stuck and I was like, okay, I can keep going.
Yeah,
Um, but
I think we all have that
at
though. We all
at
have that
some point
addictive
it just
personality,
stopped.
right?
Yeah, yeah, because I mean we love comics and we just buy one every time we're in a comic store. We buy at least one, if
Yeah.
not two, maybe
I
five.
buy more than two. I'm bad. I can leave a comic store spending $100. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, and I
me too.
shouldn't.
That happens. We
Yeah, it
see
does.
something, and we're like, okay, we want it. We're big boys, so we can buy
Yeah, that's exactly it. We're big boys, right? I know my daughter tells me that all the time. So I limit my daughter. I say, okay. She's like, Dad, how much can I have? I'm like, well, you can have four. But last time you bought 50.
it. Oh
Okay, you can
man, I'm
have
gonna die.
six.
I'm gonna be
Six.
hurting.
Yeah.
That's
So
funny.
you buy six, I'll buy 100 now. Yeah,
Hey, the
and I
odds,
guess
it makes sense to me.
the next question is, oh, you bought 100 comics, did you read them all? No. But I'm slowly getting through them.
Yeah. It's we're collecting all these comics in such a big like what is it? Not category. Assumption. So if end times ever come around, we have so much comics to read.
Yeah. Well, these are like stuff that I picked for
Just kidding.
myself. Like, you know what I mean? Like, no. Like all these comics that I've picked that I haven't read yet, it's for those times whenever I go and hang out with my family and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then
Gotcha.
others, like literally, I buy them just because I want them, and I'm gonna hold them. Like here's a good example. Like I just got this graded comic yesterday.
Ooh.
So I'm a big Trekkie, guys, and so
That
this is
looks
the
good.
first Star Trek comic. It's a 9.0, and I bought this off a buddy, super
It
cheap.
looks good.
Yeah. And I don't really
What
care about the
where's
grade. I just wanted to have it.
right? What year is that?
This one, I think it's from 1980 something. What's it say right here? Does it tell you? Yeah, 89.
Cool.
Yeah.
Did
So,
so I no. Uh, Marvel Comics is 1939, right? So comics
uh,
go back pretty far, right?
yeah, I believe that was
Pretty.
through Timely. That's when they were Timely. I think they were Timely Atlas, and then they turned Marvel.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I haven't looked that far back. I've done. It's hard for me to do that much research.
But we don't
I
have
only.
to, right? Like I said, we're novices, right?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
try to tell everyone that, back to the story for the LCS guy, the crabby LCS guy. Well, he wasn't crabby after I bought like $100 worth of comics, but then like those guys feel you out, and so
Yeah.
after getting to know you a little bit, because I spent 3 hours in that store, that guy was super cool with me. Now I go back there all the time, and he gives me deals. I mean, look, 50 cents comics, dude. So
No, that's a good deal. 100%. Yeah, it's nice when you can have like a relationship with your local store like that.
oh, it's a must. Like if you have an LCS nearby, make friends with the local comic shop. And if the guy's crabby, that's okay. Try to
Just buy
make
more stuff.
friends. Try to make friends. If he doesn't want to make friends, then you understand him. He don't want to talk
Yeah,
story, but he'll sell you
yeah,
comics. Yeah.
yeah. No, that's
So
that's a good idea because you can you got a good deal.
yeah.
50-cent comics
But I
can't
mean,
take
you know
can't
me,
can't beat that.
I don't shut up. I mean, but my wife and daughter were there, like, come on, we gotta go. I was supposed to take my daughter to the arcade, which is like, two bays down. And I don't know
Okay.
why I didn't just go, but yeah, I spent 3 hours in that store with that guy. We're talking about all kinds of stuff. This guy met like Todd McFarlane, Rob
Well,
Liefeld, all these guys. Yeah,
that's
Alex
cool.
Ross. So
Alex
yeah,
Ross. That
this
makes me
this is
think
like
of
a legit comic collector, a comic store. Legit, dude. Like it's a store when you
that
walk
this
in,
this
boxes are all over the damn place. It's like mixed up. There's like comics on the floor. So
oh wow. He's got comics everywhere.
everywhere, dude. It's packed with long boxes.
This leads into a good question. In your view, what does it mean to be a collector in all
Well,
sorts?
it depends on what you want to collect. To me, being a collector is a person that wants to hold something that they like or love, whether it be art, whether it be like a statuette, like this kind of stuff, and
Mhm.
and whether if it brings you joy to have it. And I guess it also depends on what is your whole mindset on collecting. Like, are you trying to like hold stuff for later on to sell it? Some guys, they're like, oh, I'm going to collect all these things, I'm going to put it in a vault, and I'm going to sell it later and make a bunch of money. Are you that kind of collector? Are you kind of collector where you enjoy stuff like this? Like me, I
Mhm.
enjoy stuff like this. Like this
Yeah.
guy right here. Okay, I hated this ship growing up. This I don't own this one, by the way. I hated this ship.
Really?
Yeah, I did not like this Enterprise. I always call it the fat one. You know, the Enterprise D for being too big. But I just watched a TV show about Star
Mhm.
Trek, Picard, and that ship came back on TV. Spoiler alert, by the way.
Oh,
And
wow.
like,
Yep.
yeah, it's like it brought back all these memories as a kid. Like I grew
Uh,
up watching this fat ship on TV, and it brought back all these memories. You know, I remember discussing episodes with my friends,
was
and
it just too
so
big of a ship or
it's just one of the biggest enterprises they ever made. It's just really fat. Um,
got it, got it.
but the point is, that right there brings me memory. You know what I mean? It brings
Mm,
back, childhood memories. This car brings childhood memories. These comics right here, all of this stuff, these Funko Pops right here, they all bring back memory. And so for me, collecting these, holding these, looking at them, it all just brings back this nostalgia. And sometimes I can just look at something and just remember, like, a little portion of my childhood, what I was doing when I bought that thing.
gotcha.
So yeah. So
No, yeah,
to me,
it's
that's what collecting has done. That's the type of collector that I am. And if I make an ROI, that's great. I'm happy, cool. If I didn't, well, that's okay. It's all right. And that's the same mindset I bring into Vivi now. Like now, instead of like trying to buy stuff that I don't like because I think I'm gonna make money, I'm buying things that I like. And I that ROI is still in the back of my head. I think it was Chad from NFT Pirates. He said, well, you can be a collector, but you cannot ignore maybe the money aspect behind all this. And there is a money aspect behind this as well. But I mean, when I came into Vivi, I came in here mainly as an investment. But meeting the community, hanging out with all you guys, meeting you and the WebV Collective, it's changed my mindset completely. This is not an
yep.
investment for me anymore, in a sense. I mean, yeah, I got a
Mhm.
bag like everyone else, but now I'm just a part of this community. I'm enjoying it. Like I said, if I make an ROI, great. If I don't, well, that's
It's
okay.
been a fun
School of
ride.
hard knock life, right? So,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
No, yeah. Even if we don't get
I
an
hope that
ROI,
answered your
everything
question.
goes to zero. No, yeah. No, it did. It did. What did I ask you? Just kidding.
The hungover guy. You're asking me.
Oh man.
Oh, this is gonna be an interesting recording for you.
No, yeah, it's fun. It's all fun and
Yeah,
games.
we're,
I'm
we're
just
all
trying to
raw
have
here, guys.
yeah. I enjoy it being raw because it's authenticity, it's who we are.
Yeah,
It's not filtered, it's not scripted, all that, you know. I want it to be genuine. I like genuine. I like to be um connected with everybody so that way it's like relatable and stuff like that. I don't know.
yeah.
I'm reading my notes. Sorry, guys.
It's okay. I use notes too. It's just I've gotten better at making sure you guys don't see me looking at them.
Oh, sorry. Where? Okay. So then this, I guess it leads into this too. It's because I skipped a couple questions. I was
It's
like
all good,
thrown off.
bro.
What What is the rarest or most valuable thing in your collection, and how did you get it?
Hmm. What is the rarest and most valuable thing in my collection? That's
Or
a
like, there's so
tough one
much.
because there's so much stuff in these boxes, and I never brought any of those out.
It's okay. Off the
Yeah.
top of your head, anything.
Off the top of my head, what's the rarest thing that I own? It will have to be. There's a 1 of 20. Sorry.
You're good.
I think there's a 1 of 25 in there somewhere of a Spider-Man comic, and I think that thing's worth around $350. I don't remember the issue though. I got to go look.
Okay.
Um, yeah, but I honestly, I don't think I own anything like over 1,000 plus. That's for sure. And if you want to talk about what's valuable, they're kind of all valuable. You know what I mean? Because like
Yeah.
there's a nostalgic value that I kind of like use this more than like say a dollar value, because I'm not trying to flip these, right? These
Right.
aren't things that I'm trying to like flip. So I kind of don't look at it in that sense. It's just mainly it's just something to keep. I did pick up let me go get it. I'll come right back. Yeah. Is that okay? Oh, you just froze. Are you there? Uh-oh. I think we might have lost you, man. I'll be right back.